When I went home for the Chinese New Year, my father was hospitalized 3 times due to anger. The first time was because I saw my sister and her girlfriend kissing. The second time was when he discovered that my sister and her female secretary had obtained a marriage certificate abroad. After returning from the hospital, he held a family meeting. Deep in love, he asked with tears in his eyes, "Is there no one in the family who likes men?" My only brother raised his hand. My father rolled his eyes and went to the hospital again. After I woke up, my father held my hand tightly and said with tears in his eyes, "The hope of the whole family rests on you." I nodded and said, "I have a partner." "Is it a boy?" "It's a man." "It's okay if it's a man. My partner is the only son of my father's archenemy, a genuine man." The story is about to begin. If you like it, remember to like and follow. David and I are of similar age, and we have been rivals since childhood because of our fathers. When I argued with him when I was a kid, my dad would give me a generous reward if I won. When I was in elementary school, I ranked second to last in exams and David ranked last, but my dad praised me to the sky. After tasting the sweetness, I want to compete with David in everything I do. In this way, we gradually became the first and second in the grade. I also developed the habit of always trying to outdo David in everything. The turning point came 3 months ago. I heard that David is dating the most beautiful girl in our school. In order not to lose to him, I asked someone to get the contact information of our school's most handsome boy, and then I launched a fierce offensive against him. It only took me 3 months to get him. He proposed to meet, and after hesitating for a moment, I decided to go and test the stuff. If he really was more handsome than David, I would take him home. I hid in the dark and observed secretly. After a while, a man walked up the bridge. He was about 187 centimeters tall, with broad shoulders and long legs. My legs were numb from squatting, but I still couldn't see his face. When my patience was almost exhausted, he finally turned his head. I was shocked by his face. It was David. I ran away in a very useless way. Back in the dormitory, I fell into a deep sleep. When I woke up, it was already dark. There are more than a dozen unread messages in the phone, all from one person. Looking at the note, the school hunk next door, I felt a little unconvinced. Campus hunk? David? But his face is indeed impeccable, with no blind spots in any angle. I resigned myself to changing his note to SB David, and when I read his messages again, I got goosebumps all over my body. This guy is so serious about love. What's wrong with you? What happened? Reply to my message quickly, don't let me worry. I see. Send me a message at any time. I won't rest until I see your message. I thought about it and decided to let him know that I was safe. I'm fine. As soon as the message was sent, David sent several replies. What happened? You can tell me, after all, we are boyfriend and girlfriend. It's so funny that he agreed to a relationship without even knowing who the other person is. How come I didn't realize he was so love-minded before? I wanted to tell him directly who I was, but I was afraid that he would get emotional. After hesitating for a moment, I sent him a message. I know you are the most handsome guy in the school, and I am just an ordinary girl. I am not worthy of you. Let's not meet each other. I don't care. I don't care what you look like. What I like is you as a person and your soul. I was almost moved by him, but I was nothing to him before. I swiped my finger across the screen a few times and deleted and blocked it directly. I'm still a little uncomfortable with deleting David. Before I knew who he was, we did have similar interests and had a lot of fun chatting with each other. If he had a beautiful soul and a nice appearance, I would probably fall in love with him. It's a pity that online dating is risky. The other person could be a 200-pound fat guy or your mortal enemy. With David's matter behind me, I had an incredibly busy week. The next time I heard from him was when his roommate said he was in the hospital. I heard that he was hurt by love and wanted to die. Wow, which sister is so awesome? I beg you to start the class. I've been in the hospital for several days. It feels pretty serious. I also heard that his online crush dumped him. I didn't expect that the school hunk was so infatuated. I couldn't avoid my roommate's gossip, and every word reached my ears accurately. That night, I had a rare nightmare. In the dream, David was walking alone towards the sea, and the water covered his head. I tried to run towards him and save him, but the distance between us was getting farther and farther. After waking up, I wiped the cold sweat from my forehead and sat on the bed, hesitating for half an hour. In the end, I couldn't resist my conscience and took a taxi to the hospital. David was the only one in the ward. I sat next to him and asked him questions casually. Why exactly are you in the hospital? What happened? David rolled his eyes at me, indicating that he didn't want to bother with me. Is it really because of your online crush? As soon as I said those 4 words, David dodged to the window. I quickly pulled him back. Seeing that he was calmer, I asked, what do you like about your online crush? If you think of something in your mind, tell me quickly and I will change it. David became nervous when he heard the 4 words his online love object, and then stood by the window with an expressionless face to look at the scenery. I violently dragged him back to the bed. Why did your girlfriend dump you? Have you ever reflected on yourself? Reflect on whether you have been a good person in your daily life. I reflected on it. I reflected on it for 2 days and 2 nights but couldn't figure out what was wrong with me, so I just lay here. I almost forgot this guy is a narcissist. I couldn't help but roll my eyes. Thinking of the purpose of this trip, I said against my conscience, yes, you are so perfect, you can find any girlfriend you want, why do you have to hang yourself on a tree? But other trees are not my trees. You don't understand. She is the person who understands me best in this world. LOL, I don't understand? Stupid, of course it's because your enemy knows you better than you know yourself. We are unexpectedly in sync. When I talk to her, I feel like our souls are resonating. I don't mean to do this, but I can't eat or sleep without her. Forget it, this kid is too deeply poisoned. I patted his shoulder and said, show me your chat history and I'll analyze it for you. Can you be so kind? I rolled my eyes in anger, I deserve to be in charge of you, just die. David pulled me back by my sleeve again. I was just testing whether you had any bad intentions. I sat back down and raised my chin, then begged me. Please. It's the first time I heard these 2 words from David's mouth in more than 20 years. When I saw his unhesitating look, I realized that he seemed really serious and that I might have gone a little too far this time. But you can't blame me entirely. I didn't have his WeChat before, and I didn't know that person was him. I almost fell in love before. Now that things have come to this, we can only take a long-term view and add him back to his normal state so that he can be discharged from the hospital. I took his phone and pretended to flip through it, then stopped at the last few sentences. Look, she said she's not worthy of you. I think she has low self-esteem. David didn't understand. Inferiority complex? Why should I feel inferior? She might not be very pretty. Whether it looks good or not, isn't it just 2 noses and a mouth? She may not come from a family as well off as you. I have money. I can give her money. What if she is a 200-pound fat girl? I have won the bodybuilding championship for 3 consecutive years. I will definitely be her best fitness trainer. I sighed, you don't understand girls at all. If the gap between 2 people is too big, the girl will be unbalanced, and will be consumed, withdraw, and tortured repeatedly until the relationship comes to an end. This feeling is very painful. So it is better to give up at the beginning. David listened carefully, so what should I do? I thought about it and said, first, show her 2 sick photos. When she sees them, she will definitely worry about you and add you back. Then you can show her your shortcomings to narrow the distance between you 2. David nodded, thank you so much, if I do add her back, you can take any car in the garage. I sighed, the best way to thank me is if you don't want to die. Wait a moment. I took my foot back after I had just taken a step forward. What's wrong? David opened his phone and said, add WeChat. I have something to ask you later, and I will help you to the end. I took out my cell phone, luckily I was prepared, the one I added him with before was a SMUF account. After returning to the dormitory, I was busy for a while and planned to add him back the next day. A few hours later, I opened my phone and suddenly the sky fell, with hot searches everywhere. The top 3 trending searches are all David. A school hunk was hospitalized due to a broken heart. The 9-grid photos include some of the photos showing a person reading a book, some with a side profile, some with a sense of fragmentation, each one hides a little trick. David family group's young master publicly expresses his love. The plot in the novel really happened in reality. There is also a big explosion at the end. The comments were lively too. It turns out that we are the netizens who went crazy in the novel. This is really a navy. Am I the only one who thinks the young master is handsome? Seeing the situation getting more and more lively, I was so scared that I added the people back immediately. I had just released the person from the small dark room when David sent me a friend request. Remove the trending search. I sent a brief message. David acted quickly, and within half an hour, all the top trending searches were removed. I just breathed a sigh of relief when I found out that it was on the trending search again. It seems that they have reconciled. Cacheability. I really want to know who the heroine is. The most important thing is that some netizens dug out my photos and said that I was the heroine. I sent David a screenshot of the trending search and added a few question marks. He replied quickly. This time it wasn't me who did it. If you don't like it, I can ask them to leave. Don't delete me. Poor emoji. I rubbed my eyebrows helplessly. Don't worry about it, netizens will forget about it in a few days. David, okay, I'll listen to you. After seeing that he agreed, I logged out of WeChat and took a look at the comment section. David responded to the comment that said the heroine was me. It's not him, we are just neighbors, that's all. A bunch of netizens who had already started supporting the couple were heartbroken. I just started to feel depressed, woo woo woo. But they really match well together, and it looks good on my eyes when they stand together. I can't even imagine how good-looking their children will be if they are together. Equally matched, two strong men, childhood sweethearts. I heard from their mutual friends that these two went to school together since childhood and are sworn enemies. It's still pure hatred CP, it's even better. David obviously saw those popular comments and posted a pinned status. Don't knock randomly. The noise was getting louder and louder, and I was so scared that I fainted in the toilet. I dread to think what would happen if David found out the truth. With his vengeful heart, if all the new and old grudges from childhood to adulthood are counted together, I'm afraid I will die a miserable death. There are new things on the internet every day, and the popularity of our story fades away quickly. I've been giving David the cold shoulder these past few days. No matter what he posted, I would just say oh, or haha. After a few days, David's enthusiasm remained unabated. He also sent me a few screenshots on his main account, with the caption, "Everything has a response, and happiness is stable." Is this what you call having a response to everything? Is this what you call stable happiness? I guessed his intention in 0 seconds. He was just afraid that I would have strange thoughts about him because of the people who supported us as a couple online. Too lazy to pay attention to him, I continued to implement my plan on the trumpet. After confirming that David was playing with his phone, I used my secondary account to post a photo of me and a man holding hands. When I saw the other party was typing, I immediately withdrew. Then I sent him a message with a guilty conscience. Did you not see anything just now? After waiting for a long time, the other party finally sent a message saying, no. As soon as I put down my phone, I received a message from my account. David sent me a picture, which was a screenshot of my secondary account before it was withdrawn. What do you think is the relationship between the two people in this picture? Couple. I didn't hesitate, and said the two words with great force. I could hear his heartbreaking voice even through the phone. It was a while before he sent a new message. You guessed wrong, they are actually friends. His tough talk was as I expected. I was typing away on my phone. That's good. I thought it was sent by your online lover. I was afraid that you were being cheated on and didn't even know it. David chose to ignore the latter message and did not reply. There are obviously fewer messages on my small account. I put down my phone with satisfaction. The next day, David was resurrected with full health. Good morning, I made breakfast myself, can I send it to you? I sent the screenshots I had prepared. All 3 pictures are comments from netizens that are targeting me and David. Who is she? David panicked instantly. Listen to my explanation, she is just a neighbor and an ordinary friend of mine. After rejecting his 3 calls in a row, I sent a weird message and turned my phone to silent mode. After a while, the big account sent a message. My girlfriend misunderstood our relationship, what should I do? I replied to him, send me your girlfriend's WeChat and I'll explain. I used a large and a small trumpet, and directed and acted by myself with 2 mobile phones. After a while I used my phone to send David a few screenshots. Solved. David thanked me and ran off to coax my trumpet. I said a few perfunctory words and said I was going to sleep. After turning off my phone, I encouraged myself and tried to comfort myself. The plan is already halfway done and the dawn of victory is just around the corner. A few days later, I sent David a few photos using my large email. The first one shows a girl leaning on a boy's arms, behaving intimately. The second picture shows two people making funny poses together. These photos were taken 2 years ago of me and my brother. Our faces have been photoshopped out and David can't tell who he is. I also thoughtfully took a screenshot of the text and sent it to him. Happiness is in the present moment. Third anniversary. It seems your girlfriend has a boyfriend. David responded quickly. This picture is obviously photoshopped. I sent him another screen recording. Videos can also be edited. I was so angry that I ran to his dormitory building with my phone and stuffed it into his hand. Look for yourself, peas? David looked at his phone for a long time before blurting out, "Why can't I see it?" "She blocked you." I pointed to the third anniversary post again. "It's been 3 years. You should be the fish they raise. Besides, this girl already has a boyfriend, but she's still doing this to you. She's definitely not a good person. David, you have been upright all your life, but you can't just do what you know. Just make the decision when it's time to make it." It was so quiet that the sound of David's sniffles stood out. I bent down and tilted my head to look at him. "Are you really crying? Get lost." 2 hours after I returned to the dormitory, the message alert on my trumpet rang. David sent 2 photos. Who is he? I took a deep breath and sent the message I had prepared earlier. Since you have discovered it, I am too lazy to lie to you. He is my boyfriend. I was just bored before, and I heard that you were hard to pursue, so I added you. I didn't expect you to be so easy to hook. I took the bait after just 2 months of chatting. So what if you're handsome? There's no challenge at all. I wanted to be more peaceful with you before, but I didn't expect you to be so useless and end up in the hospital. My boyfriend will be back soon. I don't want to bother with you anymore. Let's delete each other. I waited for a while and tentatively sent an emoticon. I breathed a sigh of relief when I saw the red exclamation mark. David is not hopeless. My life finally returned to normal. After David had a drink with me, he seemed to have calmed down, but his temperament became much calmer and colder. After making sure that he was not in a desperate situation, I forced myself to pay less attention to him. With the kind of relationship David's father and I have, there's no way we'll ever be together in this life. David's father might be okay, but my dad would definitely break my legs if he knew I was dating the son of his archenemy. This is the best outcome for both of us. 3 months later, David and I met at an uncle's birthday party. I nodded and greeted him, then we walked in different directions. After toasting my elders, I found a corner and rested for a while. There was a loud noise not far away, and when I opened my eyes, I saw that we were surrounded. I pulled a sister and asked her what happened. Franklin and David started a fight. She was so focused on watching the show that she didn't even look at me. Why did they fight? I said to myself. And wasn't Franklin supposed to be studying abroad? When did he return home? It seems to be because of some bracelet. They fought just because of a bracelet. I squeezed into the crowd, feeling helpless. What they were doing was not called a fight, it was called David unilaterally beating Franklin. When Franklin saw me, he felt like he had seen a savior. "Sister, save me." I grabbed David's falling fist and said, "Is there anything that can't be discussed calmly? You made such a scene at someone else's party. If my dad knew about this, our 2 families would become even more incompatible." David stood up and looked around. "Is it fun? Why don't you get out of here?" No one dared to provoke David when he was furious, and soon there were only 3 of us left. "What's going on?" I had a bad expression on my face. My own brother was beaten for no reason. David had better give me a reasonable explanation. "Linda, did you know that your brother likes boys?" In one sentence, both of them suffered a critical blow. Looking at Franklin's guilty face, I knew it was true. But this was not a reason for him to beat my brother. This is our family matter. It has nothing to do with you. Besides, it is his freedom to like whoever he wants. David sneered. "Then did you know he has a girlfriend?" I looked at Franklin with suspicion. "Is it not enough to have a boyfriend? He wants to have 2 girlfriends at the same time. If he really did something like this, I would break his legs." Franklin shook his head frantically. "No way, I don't have a girlfriend and I don't like girls." Franklin spoke more and more quietly when he saw me looking over. "Oh, you still want to deny it?" Faced with David's repeated provocations, Franklin couldn't stand it anymore. "Asshole, what evidence do you have for what you said? Don't think that just because I can't beat you, you can do whatever you want. David held up his phone and said, "You dare to say that the person in this photo is not you? I can recognize this hand and this bracelet even if they turn into ashes." I only saw a corner of the photo before Franklin took the phone. His expression gradually became strange. "I am the boy in here. But this girl is my sister." It all happened so fast that it was too late for me to cover my mouth. Franklin, this big fool, was still unaware of it. He sold me out by pointing at the portrait. "And this avatar is my sister's secondary account. If you don't believe me, you can ask her. It's over. It's all over." I picked up my skirt, turned around and ran. She can walk very fast even in high heels, as if there is a dog chasing her. Sitting in the car, I sent a message to Franklin. "Hold David, or I will tell Dad that you like men." I went home to get my ID, packed some clothes, and fled the city overnight. Before I boarded the plane, I received several messages from Franklin. A photo of a bruised face. "Sister, I am really risking my life to help you stop Brother David. You must not tell Dad about me. Dad is old and I am afraid he can't bear it. Also, Brother David told me about you guys. Sister, you are such a jerk. Brother David is going to be furious. I advise you not to come back." I know that although he is scolding me on the surface, he is actually reminding me to hide a little longer. I wandered around for a week, and since I couldn't take any leave, I boarded a plane in the middle of the night. After getting off the plane, I was on high alert all the way and didn't breathe a sigh of relief until I put my luggage in the trunk. As soon as I opened the car door, I heard a familiar sound of footsteps. The clattering sound of leather shoes on the ground became heavier and heavier, and closer and closer. It's not that I don't want to run, it's that I'm surrounded. David pulled my hand away from the car door and closed it. I took a look at his face and then lowered my head instantly. "Why don't you continue hiding? I thought you were going to stay out there forever." I shook my head, feeling like crying but unable to cry. "Afraid? I thought you were fearless." I controlled my shaking legs. "How did you know I was back?" David curled his lips and sneered, "This airline you are on is mine." I lowered my head even more. "Anything else you want to ask?" This sentence has another meaning, which is any last words. Seeing that I didn't say anything, if not, it's my turn. I shook my head frantically. "Yes, I have something else to say." "Explain." "Tell your bodyguards to go away. They're gone." "Go ahead and tell me, but I advise you not to play any tricks." I fell to my knees with a plop. How could I dare to have any evil intentions? I just wanted to avoid embarrassment when I knelt down to beg him. David's face turned even worse. "Get up." I took the opportunity to hug his thighs. "I'm sorry, unless you forgive me." David just picked me up sideways. "You want me to forgive you just by kneeling down? That's wishful thinking." I knew he wasn't going to let me go, so I stopped struggling. But I still feel a little aggrieved, because I have tried very hard to minimize the harm to him. When I thought about how I tried so hard but still messed up, I couldn't control my tears and slowly wet his chest. "Do you know you are wrong? Wrong?" I cried just because I was not as skilled as others. He would be angry if he knew it was me, he would be angry if he was cheated, he would be angry either way. Then what's wrong with me lying to him? What if it succeeds? Seeing that I still didn't speak, David softened his tone. "I won't really do anything to you. Crying is a very tiring thing. I really didn't get enough rest after being worried for several days. Now that I have given up, I feel a lot more relaxed." David's arms were steady and strong, and I fell asleep while rocking him. Don't pretend to be dead when you wake up. What is coming cannot be avoided. I lifted the quilt and the first thing I said was, "I'm sorry, I was wrong." Seeing my sincerity, David nodded. "I'll give you a chance to explain." I immediately turned over and sat up from the bed. "If I didn't go down the stairs, I would be a fool. When I first started chatting with you, I didn't know it was you. I went there on the day of the meeting, and when I saw it was you, I ran away. This is a misunderstanding, and I didn't mean to do it. After that I deleted and blocked you. Who knows, you might end up in the hospital. Then you'll know everything that happens next." David was silent for a long time before asking, "Did you feel moved during the first 3 months?" "Have." I nodded. "Otherwise I wouldn't let you be my boyfriend." Seeing David's expression softened, I knew that I had made the right decision this time. "So will you be so merciful as to forgive me?" I blinked my big eyes and looked at him. "Can." I almost cried for joy. "David, thank you. You are a good person. I will never quarrel with you again. But you have to compensate me with a girlfriend. I pretended not to understand and said, let me introduce you to one of my little sisters. I just want my online crush. I was so angry that I couldn't speak. How come I went around and ended up back here? If I could be in love with David, why would I go through so much trouble? I can't date you, my dad will break my legs. Just because of this? Just? How can you talk without feeling any pain in your waist? I wiped my tears. You are your father's only son, but I am different. There are 4 children in my family. My father will not feel sad if I kill one of them. I'm not as smart as my older sister, not as likable as my younger sister, and not as boy as my younger brother. Since I was a kid, I've relied on winning over you to get more attention from my dad. From childhood to adulthood, you have always gotten everything more easily than I did. Do you know how much I envy you? I glared at him angrily. David half knelt on the ground, held my face in his hands, and said softly, don't cry, I'll give my family's project to your family, and let my dad go to your dad to make peace, okay? My eyes suddenly widened and I thought to myself, there really are people who are so blind and lovesick. I grabbed his arm and said anxiously, let's take it slow, and don't tell anyone yet. He sighed and could only nod in agreement helplessly. While I was secretly dating David, I received a call from my sister. Sister, Dad is sick again and is in the hospital. Go take care of him. What's going on? Is it serious? He saw me kissing my girlfriend and got mad. It's not serious. The doctor said he's awake now. My mind is full of question marks. What on earth is going on? I smiled apologetically at David. I'm going to the hospital to see my dad. Let's make an appointment next time. I'll go with you. I shook my head. No, seeing you will only make him angrier. Then I'll take you there. I nodded and agreed. When I arrived at the hospital, my dad had already woken up. As soon as he saw me, he started to curse. Do you know what your sister did? She hugged and kissed a woman on the street. I asked her to break up, but she was not happy about it. I think your sister wants to force me to death. I agreed with him and tried to calm him down. A few days later, I received another call from my sister on my way home from get out of class. She said Dad was in the hospital again. When I got to the hospital, my dad had already woken up. He grabbed my hand and cried and made a fuss. I can't control your sister. She actually got married to a woman secretly. She also said that if you don't acknowledge her girlfriend, she will never come back to this house again. I agreed and comforted him. After being discharged from the hospital and returning home, my father called all of us home, and all 4 children were there. As usual, my father first recounted the story of his rise to wealth. Then he started to play the victim and said how difficult his life was. Finally, my elder sister and my younger sister were strongly condemned. When his feelings reached a peak, he slammed the table and asked, "Is there anyone in this family who likes men?" My brother, who was sitting in the corner, raised his hand. Meeting his father's shocked look, he just reacted and abruptly withdrew his hand. Dad rolled his eyes, twitched, and fainted again. This month, my hours at the hospital are almost catching up with those of a nurse. David called 3 times in a row and he would get angry if I didn't answer. I answered the call resignedly. What's wrong? Why can't I see you every day? Where have you been? I'm in the hospital. My dad is in the hospital again. David paused for a moment. Is it because of your brother? How do you know? It's his turn now. My dad is awake. I won't talk to you anymore. Seeing my dad move, I quickly hung up the phone and helped him up. My father didn't say anything, he just leaned against the wall and cried silently. He looked very sad. I felt sorry for him. He cried and grabbed my hand. Our whole family's hope is in you. You can't let Dad down again. Otherwise, our Linda family will really be extinct. I patted his shoulder to comfort him. My dad sniffed and asked tentatively, I haven't seen you fall in love in all these years. Do you like men? I nodded. I have a boyfriend. Oh, it's good to have a boyfriend. Is your boyfriend a man? It's a man. Okay, a man is fine, as long as he's a man. It's okay if it's a man? My dad nodded, as long as it's a boy. I didn't expect David to act so quickly. I had just discussed with him whether to take the opportunity to tell my dad about us, and he came to my house and brought his dad with him. As soon as my dad saw David's father, he glared at him and said, What are you doing here? Get out of here. David held my hand and said, "Linda's dad, I'm Linda's boyfriend. We've been together for half a year." Before my dad could get angry, David's dad pinned him down. He waved his hand and told us to all go out. He had something to talk to my dad about. When we went back in, the two old fathers had already sat down, drinking tea happily and discussing our marriage. "I think we can let them get engaged first. David is a kid with our family. Linda and I have been childhood sweethearts, and I have always felt that they are a good match." "Who says it's not?" After the engagement news was released, the internet became lively again. The previous CP fans did not let David go at all, and followed up with questions under the previous dynamic. "Just neighbors, that's all, haha. Are we just messing around?" Some people even took screenshots and left comments under my comments. "Sister, look at this man, you can't marry him." In the end, David sent out dozens of red envelopes in a row, using money to shut up netizens.